22nd of May 1946. Prague, Czechoslovakia. Inside a prison courtyard, thousands of people gather in silence. The war has ended, but the memory of occupation is still raw. They have come to witness the death of a man who once embodied Nazi power in their homeland. Carl Hermann Frank, former SS leader and one of the chief architects of terror in Bohemia and Moravia, stands beneath a wooden post, facing the consequences of his rule. Only a few years earlier, Frank had been among the most feared figures in the region. Carl Hermann Frank was born in 1898 in Carlsbad, then part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. He grew up in a borderland shaped by ethnic tension and nationalist politics. As a young man, he gravitated toward German nationalist movements in the Sudetenland, where resentment toward the Czech majority and the post-war settlement ran deep. Politics became his path to influence. His rise accelerated when he joined the Nazi Party and emerged as a leading figure in the Sudeten German movement. Frank proved himself a loyal and ruthless organizer, and when Nazi Germany occupied Czechoslovakia in 1939, his loyalty was rewarded. He was appointed Secretary of State and higher SS and police leader for the Protectorate of Bohemia and Moravia. The position gave him sweeping authority. Under Frank's command were the Gestapo, the Sicherheitsdienst and local police forces. With these tools, he helped construct a system of repression that reached into every corner of daily life. Arrests, surveillance, and intimidation became routine. Resistance was met not with negotiation, but with punishment designed to terrify the population into submission. Frank quickly became one of the most powerful men in the Protectorate. His administration was defined by violence. Underground networks were hunted down, suspected opponents disappeared into prisons and camps, and public executions were used to send unmistakable warnings. Through radio broadcasts, Frank addressed the Czech population directly, threatening further bloodshed if opposition continued. Fear was not a side effect of his rule. It was its foundation. The brutality reached a new level in 1942. After the assassination of SS leader Reinhard Heydrich, Frank played a central role in organizing reprisals. Entire communities were targeted as collective punishment. The village of Lidice was erased. Men were killed, women deported, and children either murdered or forcibly assimilated. Soon after, Lizaki met the same fate. These actions shocked even some within the Nazi hierarchy and cemented Frank's reputation as a man without mercy. From that point on, his name became synonymous with occupation terror. Even as the war turned against Germany, Frank showed no sign of restraint. In 1945, during the Prague uprising, he ordered forces to fire on civilians and resistance fighters alike. As Soviet and American troops advanced from opposite directions, Frank attempted to negotiate his way out of responsibility. He hoped to surrender to Western forces and avoid facing Czech justice. For a brief moment, it seemed that strategy might succeed. Frank was captured by American troops, but his hopes were short-lived. He was soon handed over to Czechoslovak authorities. The new government was determined to hold leading collaborators accountable, and Frank stood at the top of the list. His trial began in early 1946. In court, Frank faced charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Prosecutors detailed his direct involvement in mass reprisals, including the destruction of Lidice and Lizaki, as well as years of systematic repression across Bohemia and Moravia. Witnesses described the atmosphere of fear his administration had created. Documents showed how he had coordinated police actions and approved collective punishments. The verdict was never in doubt. Frank was found guilty and sentenced to death. There were no delays and no commutations. On the day of his execution, Frank was led into the prison courtyard. There was no elaborate gallows, only a wooden pole prepared for the purpose. This method of execution had been chosen specifically for convicted Nazi officials. Guards secured him in place, and the sentence was carried out before the gathered crowd. Within minutes, the life of one of the Protectorate's most feared rulers came to an end. For many in attendance, it was not an act of revenge but a moment of closure.